Hey YouTube, I'm on Swanton007 and this is the Chris Jericho Breaking the Code DVD review from 2010. So what is there to say? It was a really good DVD. Um, the main sort of thing that you want to watch here is the documentary for sure on disc one. Uh, it goes over his whole time from Smoky Mountain Wrestling to ECW to WCW and WWE. All the stuff that he did, and has like lots of stories from himself and other people. Just a normal WWE documentary. Um, Unfortunately, it doesn't really go into lots of the backstage stuff, but really kind of, well, not in the WWE. In WCW it does, but not in the WWE. It doesn't really hit on any of the backstage issues that have gone on or any stories that you hear from his books. Um, so really, the documentary is just a real good overview of his career, going from uh, how he started, getting to ECW, then quickly into WCW, doing the conspiracy victim stuff, the armbar, the classic armbar interview, and what the story behind the armbar interview was, all the backstage stuff that went in behind versing Goldberg and the storyline that went behind that, and how there was all this backstage conflict. Then from there it goes to WWE with the Millennium Man, and just a real overview of his whole career up until 2010, including Fozzy and things like that. They never really get stuck on anything. I think something that was interesting they brought up was when they were talking about Jericho getting losing the VIII match on Raw against John Cena, and how he said that people always go on about how poorly WWE treated him, but he's actually quite proud of the way he left. It sort of sums up his whole career, which is very good. It's very interesting to me, at least. And then in the second half, when he comes back, it discusses why he's this character of being crazy, and how the old character didn't work, and how he had to change his character and manipulate it to what's missing within the WWE, and how he looked at the roster and worked out what wasn't there, and he became this great heel character, one of the last great true heels in the business. And then from there you get so overall I gave the documentary a 4 out of 5 stars, and the extras, just normal stuff there, little bits of stories, being Paul Heyman's, well, I mean, sorry, the story was he called Paul Heyman. He constantly got all these people that he later on realized was actually just Paul Heyman not wanting to talk to him. Normal Paul Heyman story. It was really cool. Apart from that, there was a bunch of interviews, classic interviews. One that hasn't really been around was sharing a beer with Stone Cold post Raw, and another one was Jericho versus an old man. Just some really cool stuff. Like, the real reason you want to get these DVDs is for that rare sort of video footage that you can get. At least for me, that's what it is. Then we move on to disc 2 and 3. They're all matches, right? Disc 1, you've got some rare matches from like Calgary, when his first match against Lance Storm. You've got a Smoky Mountain Wrestling match. They're just asked, to be honest, but they're interesting. You've got a match from Japan against the Ultimo Dragon, which was fantastic. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. Really worth watching. You've got some commentary from Chris Jericho, Matt Striker on that one. From there, you've got a few good matches worth watching, like Chris Jericho and Eddie from Fall Brawl, Jericho versus Juventud Guerrera from SuperBrawl VIII. All the ratings are coming up. I'm sure you're all seeing them. There's one with The Rock, but really, there's quite a number of matches that are worth watching on this DVD, and that's what's really key here. Is there's a good mixture. Even though a lot of these matches you can find on pay-per-views and DVDs, the WWE Network, there's a lot of matches here that are just difficult to find. As I mentioned earlier, you got just a random Japan match. You've got lots of little Raw matches. So Raw, Chris Jericho versus Triple H, when Jericho won the championship and got it stripped from him. And it didn't count as a championship because of Earl Hebner and Triple H and whatever. On disc 3, this is where you've got 2 real matches worth watching here. 2 of the best matches on this DVD. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 19, and Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels from No Mercy. Just fantastic matches. Both I've given 4.5 stars. Very much worth watching, but you can probably find them on the network. So overall, I'm going to give this DVD a 8 out of 10 for its overall, like, everything's done well. The documentary was thought out and well presented. The matches themselves were well thought out, and they're not only just momentous in Jericho's career, but they're also good. And you've got the rare sort of classic matches more at the start, but you've also got some later Raw matches and a SmackDown match with Chris Jericho's first match with The Undertaker. So thanks, guys. I'm a Swanton 007. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And you know what? Hopefully I see you in the future. Have a good one.